Welcome back to episode 2 of the Worlds Through a Lens podcast. I'm your host, Bill Rosato, and today we're going to discuss a lot of recent news topics that have been going on in the overall VR scene and talk about some games that are releasing this week. There's no interview this week, so it's just me. Let's get started here. I just want to announce before we get started, though, on February 17th, I will be doing my first live stream. And most likely it'll be Lethal Company in VR, maybe something else too, but most likely that. So again, if that interests you at all, I'll be live streaming on February 17th, Saturday at 2 p.m. PST. And either join in my lobby or just come watch and hang out and say hi. Okay, so our first story today is Ubisoft apparently disappointed with their sales from Assassin's Creed Nexus, stating that they thought it would sell more. And it was in a earnings call recently, Q3 earnings call, the CEO was asked about any future plans for Ubisoft in the VR space. And he said, not increasing our investment on VR at the moment because it needs to take off. This is something that is a reality check and is gonna be a reality check for AAA devs coming into the VR space. I'm very curious what number they had in mind that they thought their game would sell. I'm very curious. And I know their estimates, right? Ubisoft have been doing this for years and years. Their estimates were probably realistic, right? They knew it wasn't going to sell as one of their as big as one of their flat screen games, not even close to the numbers Assassin's Creed does. But their projections, I'm curious because the way they're talking about this feels like they didn't even hit their lower end projections. And like I said, this is going to be a real reality check to a lot of AAA devs, and a quick warning to AAA devs that are currently making a game in VR or that want to come to the scene. VR is so small still. The player base is just, it's not there. It's not there. A lot of people in the VR scene, I personally think Assassin's Creed Nexus was a hit, right? Everyone loved it. Everyone thought, this is it. This is the first AAA game on the platform on Quest that felt good, right? Everything about it was good. The story, the movement, the interactions with everything, it was all great. The fact that they say that it didn't sell, according to them, is crazy. It's crazy. These AAAs need to realize they will not make as much money as they think. Nowhere near as much money as they think. Then on the other hand, you have games like Ghost of Tabor, who are on App Lab making millions and millions of dollars, right? And maybe they did that. Maybe they did make way more than Ghost of Tabor, right? But the budget for this is just insane, right? They're a AAA studio. This is Ubisoft we're talking about. This is the Assassin's Creed franchise, their very first in VR. They spent a lot of money on this. So the fact that they're not impressed really with what they saw, it's no surprise. It's no surprise really. And the fact that this is being kind of pushed by the media that, oh, okay, this AAA studio failed. Now they're dead. They're done for, right? Ubisoft is not going to put any more investment into the VR space. That's not what they said. Ubisoft stated that they will not invest into VR any more than they've done previously. And like I said, it's being pictured and framed as, okay, we're done. It could be. Ubisoft doesn't have the best track record as being the most legitimate studio, and this could be it. This could be the only Assassin's Creed or Ubisoft VR game that we get, and that's it. I know there was a lot of talks about the Splinter Cell. Maybe that might be it. Maybe they push the Splinter Cell down the pipeline. Hopefully it's not absolute trash, and that'll be the end of that. But one, if they do decide to entirely quit VR, that is bad. That is bad. Because we need those AAA studios to come in, pave the way, show bigger game opportunities in the VR space to push the scene forward more. Now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love the indie devs. Indie devs are the backbone and the foundation of what we currently have in VR today. But the studios, the AAA studios, are needed to push VR into a greater scale, into a greater audience, really. How many people have stated they got a Quest just for the fact to play Assassin's Creed in VR? Right? It's these sellers. It's these system sellers that bring more people in. And much like Apple Vision Pro is bringing VR into the mainstream, into the and much like Apple Vision Pro is bringing VR into the mainstream and more people's hands, the AAAs have that same effect. This is really sad if they're done. This is sad if they're done, and I really hope Ubisoft's not pulling out. I really hope that this doesn't scare other devs, but just to really adjust their expectations on kind of what to expect from the VR scene in general, really. And then I'll argue even the other side for a second. Maybe it's good, with so many indie devs being stuck in kind of a no man's land, in limbo, really, with the App Lab and not being able to get on the Quest store. There's so many good games on App Lab that never make it to the Quest store, and then there's absolute trash, absolute dog shit that does make it onto the Quest store. So it really it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. Personally, as much as I love the indie devs, I would love to see more AAAs come in and really push VR up into the spotlight, especially if they do it correct, like Assassin's Creed Nexus did. I personally thought Nexus was a great game. The community at large, I believe, also thought so. So I don't see why they should stop, really. You know, I really want to play that Splinter Cell VR, if that's still in the works, if that's still a thing. But it's sad if Ubisoft isn't increasing their spend into the VR scene at large. Our second story of the day is people wearing the Apple Vision Pro and driving a Tesla in the self-pilot mode, which is, it's just fucking hilarious, honestly. A lot of these videos are they just really want to test it out, right? Seeing what they can do, how far they can really push the pass through, and it's just been hilarious. There's videos like this that people are seeing. And there was another video of where this guy got pulled over by a cop. And personally, don't do this, right? Don't do this. But I love it. I love it because people are just pushing the boundaries, right? Seeing how far they can kind of cyberpunk all of this and really max out that dystopia future aspect of it. And right now, it's just hilarious, in my opinion. But apparently, it got so bad that the U.S. Secretary of Transportation put out a warning on social media saying, reminder, all advanced driver assistance systems available today require the human driver to be in control and fully engaged in the driving task at all times. Yeah, no shit, right? But there's always going to be people that, right, we saw those back in the day that they were just sleeping. They were slumped on the wheel, letting the self-driving go. All right, usually they had someone in the passenger to actually make sure they don't crash. And yes, the whole distracted driving argument, it's bad. It's bad to be doing this and potentially hurt someone. If this comes out that somebody doing this got into a car crash, hurt someone, possibly killed someone, then it's everyone's going to be on their ass. And this is going to frame all this VR, this spatial computing space as bad, right? It's going to give that narrative of, okay, we're distracted, especially people walking in the streets, much like Casey Neistat did, which I thought that video was fucking hilarious, honestly. But we can't have that aspect of VR looked at negatively. VR already has that negative connotation with it of isolation, no human interaction. We already have that in society with people just on their phones and people isolated and not engaged anymore. And the fact that this is getting kind of pictured as now we're stepping more into that, which is true. I think it's true, but it's almost kind of a hump that we're going over, right? We have to go up the hill and through the trial and error and the dog shit and seeing what sticks, what doesn't, until a point where shit will hit the fan and we're going to fuck around and find out. And until then, people are just going to keep pushing the boundaries and really testing limits as much as they can. So I'm all for that, but doing this shit is okay. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but yeah, somebody can get fucked up from it, and then that would just kind of ruin it for all of us. One sour grape out of the bunch, basically. Our third story of the day is Mark Zuckerberg recently posted on his Instagram sharing his thoughts of the Apple Vision Pro, right? He states he recently tried it out. He kind of talks about why it's better, why it's not better, and the Quest 3 is the superior product. But yeah, I'll just play the clip right here.
All right, guys. So I finally tried Apple's Vision Pro. And, I have to say that before this, I expected that Quest would be the better value for most people since it's really good and it's like 7 times less expensive. But after using it, I don't just think that Quest is the better value. I think that Quest is the better product, period. And, the different companies made different design decisions for the headsets. They have different strengths. But overall, Quest is better for the vast majority of things that people use mixed reality for. Now, my friend Kenny is actually capturing this video on Quest's high-resolution mixed reality pass-through right now. We're just here in my living room, and you can see his browser windows and whatever else he's got running up here. So yeah, Quest 3 does high-quality pass-through with big screens, just like Vision Pro. But we also designed it to be great for a lot of other things, moving around, playing games, hanging out with friends and socializing, working out, and more. Quest, I think is just a lot more comfortable. We designed it to weigh 120 grams less, which makes a really big difference on your face. There's no wires that get in the way when you move around. It's a big deal. Our field of view is wider, and I found our screen to be brighter also. I also noticed that Apple's headset has this motion blur as you move around, which Quest is just a lot crisper. Now, Apple's screen does have a higher resolution, and that's really nice. But I was surprised by how many trade-offs they had to make to the quality of the device and the comfort and ergonomics and other aspects of the display and artifacts in order to get to that. Now, for input, Quest supports precision controllers that are great for games. Both headsets support hand tracking, but I found ours to be a little more accurate. Apple's eye tracking is really nice. We actually had those sensors back in Quest Pro. We took them out for Quest 3, and we're going to bring them back in the future. It's a nice interface. It's not perfect for everything, though. For typing or complex tasks, you're going to want things like hands or a keyboard or controllers or eventually a neural interface for those kind of inputs. Quest's immersive content library is a lot deeper. We've been working with studios building virtual and mixed reality games and other content for a long time now. And if you want to watch YouTube or play Xbox on a big screen anywhere you go, that's only available on Quest for now. So, when I look around, it seems like there are a lot of people who just assumed that Vision Pro would be higher quality because it's Apple and it costs $3,000 more. But, honestly, I'm pretty surprised that Quest is so much better for the vast majority of things that people use these headsets for with that price differential. Now, look, I know that, some fanboys get upset whenever anyone dares to question if Apple's going to be the leader in a new category. But the reality is that every generation of computing has an open and a closed model. And yeah, in mobile, Apple's closed model won. But it's not always that way. If you go back to the PC era, Microsoft's open model was the winner. And in this next generation, Meta is going to be the open model, and I really want to make sure that the open model wins out again. The future is not yet written. So, I want to take a moment to just thank everyone who's been building with us for more than a decade. That goes for both Quest and the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are doing way better than I even hoped that they would. As the old saying goes, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So I'll see you all out there.
So I'm a Quest user. I don't plan on, one, being able to afford the Vision Pro. Two, even if I was able to, even consider buying it. This video to me felt kind of like a jealous boyfriend, right? Picture the consumer as the girlfriend, right? And you come up with all these values and everything and all the stuff that you provide to the table and offer. And here comes the handsome, absolute Giga Chad jawline guy coming in. He's rich, he's handsome, he's got a nice job, car, he's charming, everything. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you've been working on yourself all these years, right? Honing your skills, trying to be the best you can, and here comes this guy that was born like that effortlessly. And that kind of is what I thought about this video. Zuck got a little bit jealous, just a little bit, and he kind of had to clap back, really, saying that, hey, listen, our product is better, our product is superior, buzz off, buddy. And that's true to a certain extent. Everything he kind of listed there is semi-true. I think the biggest difference is the values with each product. Quest, right? Quest is gaming. Quest is gaming. You could do other things on it, but those other things and those businessy things, those lifestyle things, feel like secondary. Maybe fitness. Fitness might be up there in the front too, but gaming is where the Quest shines, right? Obviously, Apple isn't into gaming like that yet. Yes, they have a couple apps and stuff, but they don't have controllers. Their whole platform is about outside of gaming, right? What you do when you're not playing games. So the value perspective is just too different. With Apple Vision Pro, the value is insane because you could just buy an Apple Vision Pro and have a 2 to 3 monitor setup with the computing power of a MacBook. Voila, just done. And that value for someone that doesn't have a PC in desktop setup, which surprisingly is a majority of the population, that's tremendous value. For $3,000, that's tremendous value. So Meta Quest Quest 3 can't do that. They can't provide that amount of value. They provide, hey, come play games, come do what Vision Pro can kind of do also for a much lower price, right? And this video is basically kind of Zuck stating, hey, listen, our product is overall better, right? Which is true. I 100% agree with that. Their product overall is better. But we need this, right? Everyone knows Apple coming out with their headset is crucial. It's so crucial. And look at the amount of traction they have gotten because of it. Everyone is making video. I can't tell you how many countless TikToks I've seen where people are just walking, doing memes of their Vision Pro, people just in public ordering a coffee, doing the pinch thing on a plane, and people are saying, hey, how is it? How can I try it out? What's it like? Do you think I should buy one? There was a little bit of that reaction with Quest 3, not to this level. This is Apple, the big dog. And I don't want you to think I'm glazing or anything. I'm not glazing. It's crucial for them to bring this to the front and bring this to the mainstream population. Because now look, everyone and their mama, Qualcomm, Samsung, I know there's some other ones I'm not even mentioning that are super important. Obviously, Valve, they already had theirs though, want to create a VR headset. And it's just going to do nothing but, one, improve the technology, bring it to mainstream adoption, and overall just make VR and AR better. So the markets, they're just different, right? They're just different. Everyone knew that. But this video kind of positioned Mark as, hey, we're still here. We're still here. And there was something said on the Upload VR podcast where they were kind of stating Zuckerberg and Meta have lost the battle for first place. They are currently in the battle for second place, whether that be with Steam VR, whether that be with Valve or Samsung or whoever is currently making a headset. That is where the battle is right now. Just because Apple is Apple, they've built that reputation where they could just come in at any time and be the leader in the category, learn from others, yoink, and put it into their product and make something great. On Twitter last night, I was discussing with someone that they were saying that the UI it's unbearable on Quest, and that is 100% true, because that simple UI that Apple has and that Apple is kind of known for, anyone with an iPhone can already pick up that UI, which is a majority of the US population, and they can understand Vision Pro instantly. I saw this I saw this TikTok of a guy on a plane, and he was showing, I believe it was like an Emirates flight, and he was showing it to one of the flight attendants, and she just got it. You could tell that she just got it and figured it out, because I'm assuming she owns an iPhone. And that level of smooth transition and simplicity is just insane. Where with Meta Quest, it's sometimes I spend hours in there, and it sometimes feels like you can get lost still trying to find a certain setting, trying to find a certain menu. Things can feel like a maze at times, which is not good for an experienced user, let alone a new user. So I think Meta has some stuff to figure out on that, and I think that was kind of a big issue from the start, is the UI and trying to figure that out. I think that would help a lot for new users to just be like, okay, all right, I get this. It's easy. It's done. I'm a big proprietor of even 1% of friction equals too hard. It's and they put it down. They don't touch it anymore. Meta doesn't get any money from them purchasing off the Quest store, and it's just overall a really bad user experience. Quest 3 is the better value for what you get for the price, but Apple Vision Pro provides the overall greater value for what you can save, really, if that makes any sense. Like I said, being able to replace 2 to 3 monitor setups and having the capability of a MacBook it's too good of a value, really. But again, this is arguing semantics and 2 different markets and 2 different price points, things like that. But yeah, I just wanted to address kind of Zuck's whole take on this thing, and I thought it was pretty interesting, really. The next topic is about Brilliant Labs coming out with their new smart glasses called Frame smart glasses. And they're priced at $349, and they claim to give the user AI superpowers, basically. It uses multimodal AI capabilities to allow the user to perform tasks like identifying landmarks, searching for products, looking up nutrition information directly through the glasses. The glasses have integration with the Noah app, which powers the glasses' AI features using OpenAI for visual analysis, Whisper for translation, and Perplexity for web search. Now, I think this is pretty interesting. Frame had a thing come out a while ago called the Monocle, which was just a mount, a single lens mount for the glasses, and it looks stupid. It was ridiculous. This is being touted as the Ray-Ban kind of competitor, and I think it's interesting. Now, not only are we starting to see other companies compete with Meta on the VR space, now we're starting to see people compete in the AR space, which Meta currently has that lead, right? People that have purchased the Ray-Ban glasses, they're in love with them. They think they're fantastic and a great overall product. And I'm very curious to see how Frame and Brilliant Labs really bring theirs to the forefront. $349 is not a bad price. That is a great price, in my opinion, for full AI integration. I know we saw Zuck post on his Instagram showing the kind of beta test phase of their AI capabilities, which that was fantastic too. I'm very curious to see how this stacks up against the Ray-Ban glasses. A little bit more on the hardware specs. It totes a 640 by 400 pixel micro OLED display, a 720p camera, with the charger having a unique design of a nose that you're able to just put your frames on. And it's unique. It's clever design, honestly. It looks sleek. They look good. It's in the correct price range. Now we just have to see a demonstration of it. And I'm really curious, when Meta is going to push out that newer version of their AI? Is it going to be on the Ray-Ban glasses? Is it going to be a new product entirely? Will it come to VR maybe? I don't know. It's very interesting to see a competitor in this space. Again, Meta has the lead. They're already second place when it comes to the VR scene just because it's Apple. And it's still impractical, even though you see so many videos of people doing it, it's still impractical for you to actually take that Vision Pro and go walk out in your daily life and use it like you would use the Ray-Bans. So I'm really curious on how Meta responds to this, if it's a well-received product. And that's all for the stories this week. And that's pretty much it for the news this week. So I'm going to talk about some of the games that are releasing this week. First off is Titanic: A Space Between. You embody Heinrich van Eden, a time travel specialist on a thrilling mission to solve the disappearance of Diana aboard the Titanic. The game merges the intrigue of time travel with the historic tragedy of the Titanic, challenging the players to escape the sinking ship through clever puzzle solving and environment manipulation. Dive into a tale of mystery and survive where every decision can mean the difference between life and death. And Titanic: A Space Between is already available on App Lab right now. Our second game releasing this week is called Survivorman VR: The Descent. Survivorman immerses you into a survival adventure in the Canadian Arctic, where you're the sole survivor of a helicopter crash. Guided by the legendary Les Shroud, you'll face realistic challenges across 6 intense levels, from building shelters to avoiding polar bears. This VR experience tests your survival skills with authentic scenarios, photorealistic environments, and crucial survival mechanics like monitoring body temperature and hunger. Every decision counts in this ultimate test of endurance and wit in the wilderness. Survivorman VR Descent is currently out on PC VR and PSVR 2. Our next game releasing this week is called Undercover. Undercover brings classic arcade-like action to VR. Casting you as an agent on a mission against the evil Infidine, use the innovative active cover system to dodge and reload as you navigate through explosive, cinematic shootouts solo or in co-op mode. Battle against bosses, rack up high scores, and save the world from mind control with your skills and arsenal of special weapons. Dive into this high-octane VR experience and become the action hero you were meant to be. And Undercover is out today on the official Quest store. Our next game out this week is Veil VR. Veil VR is a cutting-edge multiplayer VR shooter that plunges players into strategic combat across a dystopian Earth. With 12 dynamic maps and multiple game modes like Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag, it offers a rich tactical gameplay experience. Unique features include physics-based melee combat, impressive weapon handling, and environmental interactions such as climbing and ziplining. Enhanced by spatial audio and customizable gear, Veil VR delivers an unparalleled VR combat experience. Join the fight for humanity's future in intense battles that test your skills and strategy in VR like never before. Veil VR is officially out today on PC VR and the MetaQuest store. The next game releasing this week is called Happy Hour Hero. Happy Hour Hero is a lively VR bartending game where you sling drinks and master bar tricks in a cartoony world. Choose from 4 gameplay modes to suit your style, from relaxed casual to intense hardcore, and enjoy minigames like Dart Attack and Bowling. Manage 7 types of drinks, stock your bar, and climb 4 leaderboards. Play your way through shifts, earning your place among the top bartenders with free peanuts as your wage. Get ready to keep the spirits flowing and the customers happy in this immersive bartending experience. Happy Hour Hero releases February 16th on PC VR and Quest through App Lab. And our last game releasing is Madison VR. Madison VR plunges you into a terrifying virtual reality horror where you as Luca are trapped by the demonic Madison in a dark, blood-soaked room. Armed with just an instant camera, navigate through a nightmare filled with hidden terrors and haunting puzzles. Stealth and caution are your allies in a world where danger whispers from every corner. Enhanced visuals and 3D sound amplify the horror, making every chilling moment unsettlingly real. Are you brave enough to confront the immersive, sinister ritual head-on? Madison VR releases February 20th on PC VR and PSVR 2. And that's everything for episode 2. Thank you guys so much for watching and making it to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, again, I'll be streaming Saturday, 2 p.m. PST right here on YouTube. come say hello, join and play with me. Hopefully, it'll be a fun time for the very first stream. Hopefully, next week we should have a interview lined up, and we'll get the kind of full structure of the podcast together, really. So, if you have any ideas on how to improve the podcast, please don't forget to comment down below. Go to YouTube if you're listening to this to see the full visual and the full video version. Follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter now. I'm trying to be really active on Twitter and trying to put out more Twitter content. Discord, I really want to engage the Discord, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I'm trying to get a schedule on how to do it. So please join the Discord. I did a poll recently on YouTube. A lot of you said you wanted more game nights, game nights. So I'm going to try to incorporate that with the live streaming on Saturday, and try to make it a regular reoccurring thing. So again, thank you guys so much for watching episode 2, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.